Hey, this is Marjorie, and I just want to show you a composting system that I'm doing on my patio. And we all need to be composting all the time, right? And I generate a lot of excess stuff. I was giving it away to some of the trees around me and the plants I'd guerrilla gardened and stuff, but I thought, I'm gonna be getting some ducks in soon, right? In about a month, I'm getting some baby duckies. I'm so excited. I'll show you all kinds of videos of them. It'll be cuteness. Uh, And I'm thinking I'd really like to have some worms to feed them as a treat. You know, I think ducks are really into that. So I'm gonna get some worms, earthworms going, and because I want to feed them as treats to the ducks, but also because it's just like worm compost is gold, is like super good stuff. So let me show you what I got going on here. So first of all, went down the street, and I've been raking up and just collecting what we call the browns, right? All kinds of leaves. You can see right here. Really would like to get some more. I just always find it handy to have a lot of leaves. This just came out of my kitchen, and this is the greens. These are just a bunch of kitchen waste stuff. And then here is the actual compost bin that I'm using, and you can see it's just a planter that just a big planter, and I've been layering leaves and then this type of kitchen waste in it. Now you'll notice that there's water in the bottom, and I put it in a little bit of a round tray. Actually, that used to be the lid to a big tank, but it's such a useful shape, I kept it. We ended up having to toss the tank because it was so cracked. But anyway, you'll find something. But I like to put a tray with some water in the bottom, and this just barely fits it right because ants don't cross water. They have a real hard time. They just don't swim. And this way you now have a natural ant barrier. And especially when you're going to have worms in worms, like ants would love to eat worms. They would just be all over it. But they also will get into your compost, and it's no fun, absolutely no fun at all. So let me show you. It's very simple. I mean, I know you know the compost thing, green and brown, green and brown. Let's do it. So I've got some browns on the top here. I just put some greens in here, and then I put some browns on top of that. And then if you have a little bit of good dirt somewhere, which I do, well, it's not the best dirt ever. And let me grab a shovel. There we go. So this is not the best dirt ever, but sprinkling a little dirt in there, especially if you had really good rich dirt, just starts to inoculate it with some of the microbes. I'll also be hitting this with the minerals and microbes compost tea that I have. I'm going to really douse this well with that. That'll also inoculate it. So we just keep doing that. So the next layer, and by the way, when I'm in my compost in my kitchen, if there's a little bit of liquid left from something, I put it in the compost bucket. We want to recycle. We want to keep those minerals and recycle those minerals, and we do that through composting. So, a really famous gardener I used to love, he's passed now, John Drumgold, he says, if there's a little bit of beer in the bottle and it's hot, you don't want to drink it, put it in the compost bucket. He put everything in the compost bucket, right? So, here we go. So, I'm going to mix those browns and greens and give it a little shot of soil. That's it. It's about as simple as it can get. So a few other things about compost. So I'm going to go get more leaves because having the browns around is super convenient because you generate the greens in your kitchen. So I put a lid on this. Now I pulled it out from the wall here because I'm shooting a video for you. But normally I would have this tucked in here. So it's out of the wind, and it generally tends to get shaded most of the day. It has a little bit of direct sunlight. And I'm making the compost now because I'm going to do a very simple worm bucket system. And that's this, where you take two 5-gallon buckets, One is a complete bucket on the bottom, and then the top bucket, I don't know if you can see this, but we've drilled holes into it. Where are the holes in this thing? Ah, got it backwards. So this should be the top bucket. It has the holes in it, right? And then I put some dry matter in the bottom just to line it a little bit. So the bucket with the holes in it I put some leaves in the bottom of this dry, and this way, worms do not like to be soggy. So this way things will be a little drier. I may also additionally, actually I know I will, I'll put this additionally also into some kind of tray so that we have that water barrier to keep ants out. Yeah, and so worms don't like fresh compost. They like compost that's, like this is going to get a little hot. They want compost that's been a little more processed. So that's why I'm doing this now, and I'll be getting the worms maybe in a couple of weeks. And then you feed the worms the somewhat processed compost, like in this thing. And it'd actually be great to have a couple more of these. So yeah, really recommend getting some worms. And all of this stuff, you can do it on a patio. By the way, the worms also, you really want to tuck them into the shade, not have a lot of sun on them. They really like to be at about the same comfortable temperature you like, so somewhere in the 70s and 80s. I'll be doing more about worm composting, but this is just a real brief introduction to get you started and, doing patio composting. And this will make some fabulous compost, even if I don't do it with the worms, for the rest of my plants. So it's pretty easy, simple, browns and greens. Okay, if you want a whole bunch more about growing food, I'm going to pitch you on that thing. Backyardfoodproduction.com is a free webinar on how to grow a lot of food in your backyard, even if you are out of shape, older, have no experience. And the other thing is the Minerals and Microbes kit that I use to inoculate this. I'll have a link for that also in the description here, but it's amazing. So it remineralizes everything, and then it also cleans up any toxicities that might be in there from you don't know what. Okay, talk to you later. This is Marjorie.